Hi, I'm Billy Mitchell with FedScoop TV. Today I'm here with David Shive, the CIO of GSA, at the ACT-IAC Executive Leadership Conference to talk a little bit about emerging technologies, innovation, and security. You just got done with an awesome talk talking about the smart buildings system that GSA has and kind of related to the Internet of Things. So why don't you kind of start off on that tangent, let us know what you're doing there and kind of what's exciting in the future with that.
Very good. So federal buildings, it's part of the GSA mission, and we've employed a sensor-rich environment where we measure just about everything that goes on, from the status and health of the elevators that are in our federal buildings to the status and health of IT, but then also the status and health of things like air quality. We care very much about the workplaces that we provide for the federal government employees that work out of our buildings, and we've been able to draw a very straight line between the health of the buildings and the health of the people working in our buildings and their productivity. So we are of the firm belief that what gets measured gets done, and so we look at just about everything from the sun hitting the side of our buildings to people coming and going in our buildings and doing background checks on people and everything in between.
Awesome. So kind of how are you planning for this evolution? A lot of people are talking about the Internet of Things, but it's not so tangible always. So how are you planning for it, and how are you guys working to fund it?
Right. So we've planned for it. I'll use past tense intentionally there. Every one of our buildings is a mature Internet of Things now. Yeah. And so the way we planned for that is we made investments. We understood that, again, what gets measured gets done well enough so that we knew that if we deployed sensors into the workplace and measured the health of the various systems and process that are in place, that there were some things that we could know. We could know how well the investments we made in HVAC systems, heating and cooling, and IT, how well those were operating and supporting the business mission. We planned to be able to, we've built foundational IT data management policies so that we can actually ingest that information and do good things with it. And all of it started with the key of good planning, and that was good executive leadership. We asked our executive leaders within GSA to make these investments so that we could provide better buildings out to the federal workforce, and they agreed to do so. And so the Internet of Things was a foundational part of our IT investment that will allow us to complete this part of our mission, and it's a significant part of the governance that exists now that allows us to assess, are we deploying the right technology, are we making the investments in the right place, and are we receiving the return on the investment that we expected when we originally made those investments.
Makes sense. And then the other side of the IoT kind of paradigm is the security of it. So what are you guys doing to make sure you're securing all these new kind of sensors and inputs into your infrastructure?
Right. So that's a good question. Security, when you're dealing with emerging technologies, sometimes security can be seen as an afterthought. It's absolutely a forethought for GSA. When we deploy sensors in our environment, we insist that they conform to GSA IT standards, because our IT standards, policy, practice, and procedure is what safeguards the current GSA environment. Whenever we insert some new technology in there, we make sure they conform or they don't get plugged in. Every once in a while, we'll investigate really cutting-edge technology. So we'll isolate that technology in a lab environment and assess that. And if we find that it's going to be useful for the GSA enterprise, then we will insist that the right security is put in place to manage that.
Makes sense. Speaking a little more broadly, there's this new law called FITARA, about a year old now, and we're interested to hear how all agencies are kind of adapting to it. So I'm wondering how you guys are responding to FITARA. How far are you in the maturity in implementing it, and what can we expect with that as far as how it will affect the CIO shop at GSA?
So we started 3 years ago to consolidate the GSA CIO organization. All federal government CIOs that existed within GSA were consolidated up under one organization. They all report to me, the single GSA CIO. But it wasn't just consolidating positions. We consolidated our budget, our governance, our IT operations, every component of IT delivery. Where that touches on new and emerging technologies, it's actually a significant enabler of that. I've found over my 30-plus year career working in IT that when you get a bunch of really smart people together that are responsible for delivering or enabling missions that are somewhat disparate, that are somewhat different, if you get those smart people together, they're able to bounce some ideas around, do the two heads are better than one thing really well, and you come out with some really excellent solutions. That, coupled with the advantages of having a single unified IT budget, we're able to assess investment opportunities across the entire enterprise and say, this part should go to IT operations, this part should go to transformation, this part should go to emerging technologies, and we're able to flex and shift those according to the larger GSA mission and the specific business missions of GSA.
And to finish up, maybe just talk to us a little bit about a project or two that really excites you that you're working on right now.
Right. So, this is going to sound really boring, but I geek out about data management. Mm-hmm. We have so much data coming in from so many sources. I talked a little bit about it in the last session, that no one person and really no group of people can properly assess the information as it comes in. Yet we as federal government employees are absolutely obligated to be able to assess the information and make good decisions because we're dealing with taxpayer dollars here. We're serving the citizens of the United States. So we are building a very rich data analytics layer. We already have it. It's in pockets throughout the organization. We're centralizing and consolidating that and building smart analytics on top of that so that we can assess this tidal wave of information that's coming in and make good choices, make good decisions off of that.
Sure.
That's really exciting.
Sounds like it. Well, David, thanks for joining us today. I know you have a busy day to get back to DC, but we'll end it there. So thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Billy.
I'm Billy Mitchell with FedScoop TV. Thanks for watching.